We are, as a matter of fact, in quite an unprecedented event based on the momentum and based on the on its actual trend for Bitcoin. Okay, so we can tell that we are, as a matter of fact, in the third event of this kind. Okay, where Bitcoin was this heavily undervalued, if you will. Okay, and in the past 3 years almost, the price of Bitcoin were accordingly, somewhere between $3, $4, $8,000, if you will. So the last time you saw Bitcoin being this all undervalued and this oversold for its momentum and for its trend, okay, on the weekly time frame, which is high time frame, each and every single time it brought massive rallies right after, right? Which is exactly what makes me think and what brings additional, rational, between for expecting some local consolidation going on, okay, for the next months, weeks in Q3 to initiate the final rally, wave number 5, okay, based on the Elliott wave principle. So you would have wave number 1, wave number 2 in here, wave number 3, the motive wave. We are looking at the wave number 4. So whatever happens in here, between the boundaries between the range highs and range lows, okay, which is $65,000 and $28,000 most recently, okay, then anything that happens inside this range between is not considered an actual trend. It's considered a sideways. Okay, so whatever happens in this region, again, it's kind of like neutral, again, from the long-term point of view. So the party starts, just like the breaker high suggests in here, okay, that party starts over 62,584. That is the breaker high needed, okay? But what matters actually is I want to show you again what it means and how rarely you can see in the charts, okay, this oversold market. Again, of course, you may ask a question. So there was a market, oversold, and then you saw a market crash COVID, okay? Then the market crashed 50% because of the COVID, so pandemic. So there is a difference between, as a matter of fact, let me get you this to bring back the story. I can remember the other day people arguing with me on Twitter, okay, and saying that I was complete fool and complete idiot for saying that, this time is exactly the same what everybody was saying. This time was different, okay? Because they said that this kind of like downside part of the COVID crash, okay, disrupted the bull market. They said that the bull market ended. The sentiment was even, this time sentiment is better than it was in there. Okay, this time is better right now. This time is even worse than that. Okay, March COVID 2020 was far better than what we are seeing right now for the sentiment. So I could remember people, telling me that this deviation on the bottom, so the support broke, between below $7,000, that once this broke, and this deviation on the bottom, that this kind of like just invalidated the concept of the bull market. And same way, people are telling me right now, okay, exactly the same way, that this crash invalidated the bull market. And if you remember, if you actually scan and check, which is highly recommended, all my previous reports, in here, where I was actually giving you the warnings that how did it like, the $65,000 kind of like a, overthrow or a fake out on top, if you will, okay? I was talking about the situation that you could potentially trap people, okay, in a deviation below the broken range, okay? I can guarantee you can actually just bring it back. I was talking about this fake out scenario, okay, that once reclaimed, it is going to continue to new highs, $90,000, $120,000 and beyond. So this part is an actual deviation that we are seeing right now. Okay, this deviation is this. With this kind of like a tiny difference or point that it got slightly bit tiny bit overextended to the bottom. Okay, same way that COVID crash, the black swan, which is not predicted. You could not predict that with the TA. You cannot predict the black swan in the pandemic, from the fundamental point of view or sentiment. This is the information asymmetry, the insider trading. Some people knew about that, okay, coming, but these were only the top kind of like, governors of the world, okay, top parties and so on and so forth. So, what I'm saying is, again, we are looking at a very similar pattern, extremely bearish deviations, extremely bearish deviations on the sentiment. You would see market being extremely bearish, like in an unprecedented manner. Okay, the deviation of the abnormal volatility, if you will. Okay, there was like $6,000, just level held, in the form of contracting consolidation, descending triangle, no matter how we call that, and then we had the deviation below. Okay, then we had $7,000 support, then boom, market crash, deviation below. Here was the miners capitulation, here was the COVID. Okay, and here was the Elon Musk's FUD, the Fed's FUD, the China bonds FUD. You could, like, there are so many FUDs going on, okay, that it all was supposed to stop Bitcoin to some extent. Okay, people currently disbelieve that Bitcoin is ever going to continue, and each and every single time in this bull run, okay, here, and here, I literally had exactly the same discussions going on, the same disbelief from the people, the same sentiment, the same people calling me idiot. And each and every single time I was right about that. Okay. And as I referred to that so many times, I can be wrong about Bitcoin so many times on an intraday basis. I know I cannot predict the future. I have no idea what Bitcoin is going to do in the next 5 minutes if Elon Musk tweets some bearish news or something. Okay, I cannot predict that. I have no idea where Bitcoin is going to be trading at in 5 days and 5 hours and 5 minutes and 5 seconds from now. But I'm very rarely ever about long-term reversals. And this I call a long-term reversal. Okay, this is an unprecedented event. So many bottom indicators are actually signaling bottom, and that's enough for me. I do believe new all-time highs are coming. Q3 is supposed to be flat, rather sideways and dull, low volume trading because of people chilling and going off their vacations, enjoying their, lockdowns finished and so on and so forth. So, lower volume on the markets, lower interest. But whenever people are back, Q4, December, November, December, this is where the action starts. Okay, and that's where we can see the upside number 5 wave, the 5th wave of this entire Elliott cycle. Okay, with $90,000 to $120,000 region for the all-time highs, in my opinion, should be doable. Okay, $10,000 for Ethereum, $1,000 for Litecoin, another DeFi pump. Okay, another DeFi cycle, mainstream alt season, legendary alt season, far better than 2017. Okay, all of that is coming, in my opinion, and all the indicators, especially the counter indicators, are telling me the bull market is over, which makes me believe it is not over, and we are just right now getting ready for an upside pullback into 50,000 55,000 region, and that's what we're going to know.